James Trapia from the Oregonian.
Tim, we've talked about 12 personnel for a few weeks now. I realized what they were doing, both particularly to the boundary and especially on max protect. I know what you were down by way of personnel. So going into this week, how are you confident? Why are you confident that with hopefully replenished personnel, that 12 personnel will not just be used against you as it was the past couple of weeks?
Well, we got to continue to develop our guys, and we were a little bit limited package wise last week because we had some younger guys. And so we're trying to keep it fairly simple for them. But we still got to fit things, right. And when teams give you some odd situations like we've been getting the last couple of weeks where you have to go to those adjustments, guys have to understand the adjustment and be able to play it effectively. And it's just going to be a matter of getting guys reps and making sure that they completely understand it and then play their fastest.
Matt Bream, 247 Sports.
Yeah, Tim, 8 defensive turnovers for your defense so far this year. And I think you've got like 5 turnovers on downs as well. Just what do you attribute this defense being able to be opportunistic and getting the ball back so effectively so far early on this year?
Well, I think there's a couple of things from day one when we talked to our defense. Our major emphasis is on taking the ball away, not to make a tackle, not to get off the ball. It's get the ball to our offense. And I really am pleased that I think we've got great buy-in from our players. Coach Cristobal's put together such a fantastic culture here that our guys are just sponges wanting to soak up everything that we want to teach them. And when we talk to them about the importance of takeaways and how we're going to do it and how we approach it and the opportunities to take the ball away, and then we of course drill it in our circuits, and then we go out in the field during practice against each other. We see it show up and we emphasize it later, and then finally it shows up during the game. And I think it's just a testament to, one, the character of our players. We've got guys with great athletic ability, but we also have guys that have great buy-in and believe in what we're doing.
Alvaro Torres, End Zoners.
Hi, Coach DeRuyter. I hope you're having a great day. Well, Arizona started the season with Gunnar Cruz at quarterback. However, Will Plummer and Sherland McLeod have also had playing time. How hard is to prepare for a game without knowing who the other team is the starting quarterback at? And does it change your preparation in any way compared to the other games?
Well, I think it's more clear when you have just one quarterback to prepare for, and you can focus on that. Each one of their quarterbacks brings a little bit different skill set. You saw McLeod take the team down the field in the 2-minute situation on Saturday, and really his first opportunity, to do some things. I think they're still going to run their package. You can't tell right now that the offense is really changing very much, depending on the quarterback, but of course that can change. The McLeod guy looked like he was a fairly athletic guy. They could put some more, design quarterback runs in with him. We have packages to address all those things, and we'll just have to play it by ear once we, get to Saturday and see who they decide to line up.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Yeah, following up on this, and I know you touched on a little bit. Do they look any different at all depending on who's at quarterback? Because have a decent sample size with, I guess not as much with McLeod, but with Plummer and with Cruz.
Yeah, no, we're probably seeing a little bit more run game with 15 than 9, but they're both good quarterbacks. They can effectively execute what they're trying to do. There wasn't a discernible difference. Then the 2-minute, it's a 2-minute situation, so it really wasn't that different with McLeod.
Max Torres, Ducks Digest.
Hey, Coach. It looks like DJ James has really picked up, where he left off since he's returned to the team. Looking past him, guys like Dante, Triquez, Avante, how do you evaluate the depth that you guys are working on building there?
Well, one of the advantages, I guess, not having DJ during training camp was seeing Triquez and Dante and having those guys compete against each other. And, every day we go out at practice, we're going against, we think, one of the top offenses in the country, particularly the receivers that we have and the quarterbacks that are throwing. So I think they gained a lot of confidence during camp. That's translated. You first start playing games there's a lot of adrenaline going on, for guys like Triquez, who's not played a ton, and then Dante really, just getting going. I think those things are starting to settle down where they're feeling more comfortable. And then it's about playing where, DJ a year ago got some time. And so he looks like he's settled in pretty good. And so you've got a situation with Mikkel and then those, other three guys, we feel good about our depth that, somebody goes down, someone's going to come in and step up.
Zach Neal, Ducks Wire.
Coach, back to DJ a little bit. How impressive has it been to watch him get into game shape after missing some of fall camp and stepping up as one of the big contributors on this defense?
Well, it was refreshing for me to see that, because you wonder, when they're not with us like they weren't during camp, is he getting stuff done? But obviously he and Jamal both were getting out and working. They were, pushing themselves, because while they were rusty scheme wise, conditioning wise, they were still in really pretty good shape. And it's a testament to the work they put in during the summer and then stayed that way, even though that they were suspended.
James Crepea, the Oregonian.
Tim, how do you feel about the boundary side edge position this past week? And in particular, if Braden's unable to go, just how you feel about Trevin, Shipley, and Buckner, and what they would be able to offer you this week if Braden is unable to go?
Well, I think Ship and Trevin, are bigger body guys that typically play field for us. And you probably noticed we went to a different package at times to get three bigs and then move those guys into the boundary, depending on the personnel that we were seeing. It was new for them. And so there's some adjustments there. Buck has really been a third down specialist for us, but he's doing a better job on first and second down. So all three of them have to be ready, particularly if we're getting the bigger personnel groupings to play into the boundary. We hope to get Mace Funa back in and Ajax, supposedly back this week too. So hopefully, our depth will be better as we go into this week, and then certainly going forward, hoping to get, Braden and KT back before long.
Jared Denny, Scoop Duck on 3.
Hey, Tim, with the amount of young guys that you guys are rotating in at linebacker, how helpful is it to have a guy like Nate in that room? And how do you kind of assess his performance now that he has been playing a substantial amount?
Yeah, when you got a guy like Nate who's so invested and understands our defense and just wants to do everything to help the team, he not only is very serviceable when he's in there, he's helping those young guys. You've got Jeff Bossa and Jabril McNeil who, started training camp, at different positions, and now they've got to go in and learn a brand new position. It's hard, but as coaches, we can be around them, a pretty good bit of time, but there's a lot of time where they can't be around us. We're game planning or doing other things. You've got guys like Nate who are taking those guys under their wing, and it's been really, really helpful to have that. And I think it's a great testament to who Nate is as a person as well as a teammate.
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Yeah, Tim, I know it's a small sample size, but 43% conversion on third down. I guess how concerning is that? Is that something that it can take a big jump of improvement, or what's just your level of concern right now?
Well, clearly it's not up to standard. We've got to do a much better job, particularly in the third and mediums and longs. Giving up a 3rd and 14 the other days is not acceptable. And, we've played a couple, in the first 2 weeks. I think you look back now and, 2 pretty good passing teams. And so I think that was probably part of the factor that, you're playing some pretty good offenses, but regardless of who you play, you got to get off the field on third down. And so I've got to do a better job of designing some things that if we don't have guys that can get pressure with just 4, that we can create some issues for an offense better. And then we just got to execute things better.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Coach, despite rotating quarterbacks, I think the one constant for them offensively has been Berryhill, number 1. I believe he has more touches than any of the running backs, and that comes at receiver. Just how much of a focal point does he feel like this week, and how unusual is it for you as a defensive coordinator to look up and see a stat like that where he has more touches than the running backs?
Well, he's really done a nice job. I think he's second in the country in number of touches per game. really an excellent football player, and they're finding ways, whether they're handing it to him on the jet sweeps or getting it to him on screens or getting it to him down the field. He's really taken to this new offensive package. And so, we got to know where number one's at all the time. And, we'll have some things that key into him, and then it's going to be, those one-on-one matchups, and hopefully we'll have more than one guy helping on him. But, if we're in that situation where we're one-on-one, we've got to win our share of battles with him.
Time for two more. Alvaro.
Well, Coach, I want to ask you, how is KT? Are there any updates on him? And what is like to work with a player of his caliber?
As far as KT, he's still, I believe, day to day. I don't know that there's been any updates. I have not talked to the trainer today. He told me on Saturday he wanted to go, but the doctor he had not cleared him. He told me, at least 1/3 down, but he's on a day-to-day basis. Hopefully we'll see him this week, but that's up to the doctors right now. And as far as, being able to, how do I feel about coaching a guy of his caliber?
Exactly.
That's correct, Coach.
Okay. It's great. I just wish he was available, every day. But even when he's not, he's out helping the young guys, mentoring them. He's a guy that understands our defense, can, help the younger guys with the finer detail points of it, with their technique, their eyes, their hands. It's really refreshing to have a guy of his talent who's willing to help others and not just self-centered. And just like I said, I'd just love to have him back sooner rather than later.
Last question, Max Torres, Ducks Digest.
Coach, DJ Johnson's a guy that has clearly shown that he can impact the game on the defensive line. Obviously played at Ohio State and a little bit last week against Stony Brook. With how good the freshman tight ends have been playing, what's DJ Johnson's defensive outlook look like right now?
Well, we're going to continue to try to develop him, not just as a third down player, but a every down player as an edge guy for us. Early in his career, he had played defensive end. He's got some natural pass rush ability. He's got the size, the strength, the strike that we're looking for. Can be a very physical player. And so I see his role on defense elevating as we go forward. And we're just going to have to negotiate how much time he's with us versus how much time he's on offense.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right. No problem, guys.